everybody, Happy New Year. It's Sandy here with the full moon rose reading for January the 2nd to 18. I've had one or two technical issues. I've got some new equipment to do the reading, so I'm just hoping everybody that will be able to get on that can. So here we are, 218, into a new template, into a new energy that is really quite tangible. Many of us are really aware of this new feeling, this new sense of almost an excitement at the new energies. My sense is that we won't really fully feel that we've got into what 218 can really offer us until we get to March. That will be really that sense of fully moving into these energies. But here we are in January. We've got bookends, if you like, of full moons right at the beginning of the month and the end of the month. January feels to me to be quite a container for us as we move through the month. And hi Sass, hi. Yeah, this is going to be quite an interesting ride for us. It's almost like we've been gardeners. We've been tilling the soil and digging around so that we've been planting new seeds, and this is like preparing the ground for this next phase of our journey, of our experience. And what is that pathway? You know, it is to fully blossom in the uniqueness of who we are, our gifts, our story, and what we've come to hold a light for in this journey. So a rose, for instance, just wants to be a rose. It doesn't want to be a daffodil or a tulip. It just came to be the most beautiful and exquisite rose that it can be. So it is the same for all of us, that when we come into this place of being internally focused and internally referenced, then absolutely we come to this place where we can have the confidence to fully blossom in the uniqueness of who we are. And I think that this is a really exciting place that we've found ourselves in. There was a real sense of, at the end of 2017, of more than any other year, I feel, of really clearing the decks. This was a time of drawing a line in the sand, so to speak, of the journey that we've had this far. Almost to step over a threshold to take this journey ever deeper into ourselves, into really knowing ourselves. I mean, what was said above the temple at Delphi was, you know thyself and to thine own self be true. And I feel that this is really our calling. And as we go through this year, there will be pulse points that we take steps to really harness and activate from that place. Yeah, this is a really fascinating journey that we're starting on, and being so aware of where we get triggered or where there's still memories that we need to follow the thread down within so that we can clear whatever that imprint is, allows us to step forward in that fullness of that blossoming of who we are. So powerful, powerful times, and we've moved from, hi Erica, from that very yang process into a very, very much more yin energy as we come into this year. And it's really feeling to me like this deepening process of the real birth time of this sacred feminine energy, this deep feminine energy, which of course was the container of the mysteries. This was the Rosa Mystica. This was the place that was the journey of all the knowledge in the ancient mystery school teachings, and of course the sacred sisterhood of the rose. Now that sisterhood of the rose has woven her way right through our evolutionary pathway on the planet, through from Lemuria into Atlantis into ancient Egypt. It was the root of all of the Isis temple work and the mystery schools. And even when you work that on through the pathway of the Sufis and the Essenes and into the Cathar story, and many of you know that I was part of a trip just before Christmas unraveling some of the persecuted energy that's locked into the land in the Languedoc. This place of the Cathars, there was a lot that were of brothers of the Rose that were connected into that particular period of time in the Crusades, and for many of the Sisters of the Rose, they were the sacred partners of the Rose Knights or the Venus Templars. So there's lots and lots of different threads to the pathway of the evolving story of the rose, the way of the rose, the path of the rose, the path of the heart. But always at the core of that is the golden heart and the sacred mystery that was held within the knowledge of the feminine and the feminine story. Hi Ashley, hello, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to Erica and Sass. I think Laurie might be with us as well. But yeah, so lovely to see you all pop up on the feed, because you know this is a new adventure that we step across the threshold to. So what do we need to shine a light on as we move into this time? Certainly for those of us that are empaths and sensitives, this is absolutely a time of really coming into this place of being internally referenced, internally focused, and really being clear about our boundaries, really being clear about our truth, and what we engage with. For those of you that have had a journey along that has had a similar flavour to mine, there has been a pathway of a pleaser, there has been a pathway of being very externally referenced, and in particular around masculine energy. You know, how do we as women hold this sacred honour for ourselves and have a sense of self-love, self-value and self-esteem that creates this very good boundary of what the frequency that we can carry, that we hold. Hi Linda, hi Elias. Yeah, this is a beautiful time that we're entering into now. So coming into this place where we are directed within, from our connection to source and from spirit. And so many of us have realized that this is where the rubber hits the road. This is where we have to do our work to bring the spiritual into the physical. We are spiritualizing the physical at a cellular level. Hi Phyllis. This is enlightenment. You know, this is true enlightenment when each cell in the body becomes filled with light. This is when we become luminous. This is when the heart flame lights. And when our heart flame is lit by love and by our sense of connection and passion for life, knowing what lights us up, we can then in turn light the heart flames of others, because we carry that illuminated field. Hi Vicky, hi, Happy New Year. So this is the pathway, and it feels to be so key now to our journey forward, that we are luminaries, that we can walk our talk And from that place of walking our talk, inspire others to have confidence in their own inner tutor, their own inner voice that is the guide and the way shower that we have really got to come into trust with now, into sacred relationship with, the beloved within. And in that place, come into that place of sacred honour of ourselves as sovereign beings. For us as women, to be prepared to put that crown on, to step forward as into that queen energy. It no longer serves us to play out the wounded feminine or the princess energy. We have to honour and own ourselves as women, as our bodies being sacred temples, and the honouring of our intuitive powers. This is our gift to the world, and it is the place in which it is our treasure. So when we own our treasures, our jewels, we can put them in the crown. You know, the rubies, the sapphires, the diamonds, the emeralds. These are citrines. These are what goes into the crown and lights our alignment to our soul star, to the stellar gateway, and to the galactic center, to our source energy. Many years ago, as many of you know, I was a couture wedding dress designer. 18 years I made exquisite silk and antique French textile wedding dresses. But alongside that, I also made copes and mitres for the Bishop of Winchester, the Bishop of Southampton, as they were at that time. And of course the mitre was this place of connecting, of gathering the energies. So many of the those that were working in service within a religious context also had knowledge. You know, everything wasn't corrupt, that's what I'm saying. There were some that were absolutely working within a framework, of course, but had a knowledge of the fact that they brought in these higher energies. And I can remember making a particular cope for Bishop Michael in Winchester, and we had a long talk about the sacred geometry, the symbol of the Chi-Rho, which I had embroidered in gold on the back of the hood of the cope. So the knowledge was that the energy came in and it charged up the back heart chakra, because that's where the energy comes in. It's the same energy that we use when we give a friend a hug, or we put our hands on somebody's back in comfort, because we know that our hands, our palms, activate from love. They activate through our heart field. Thank you for all the hearts that are going across. It's really lovely. But we put a tender hand on the back heart chakra of those that come to us for comfort. So I found with Bishop Michael that the Chi-Rho on his back was the anchor point of the sacred energies he was bringing in through the mitre down to the heart, and he was bringing up through the soles of his feet, through the base chakra, the earth energies that were coming into the heart field to go out to bless the congregation. So, you know, this place of where we come and we can put our sacred jewels in the heart, from the heart up into the crown, and gather these energies down through the body. And of course our Earth Star, which is just below our feet, creates the other activation for us. When our Soul Star, which is just where your fingertips would touch above your head, and the Earth Star below your feet, create a Vesica of light, a Vesica Piscis of light that envelops the body. These two energies are connected, and that is our pure, creative, sacred geometry. Hi, everybody's wishing me Happy New Year. Hi, Elaine. Hi, Rachel. And yeah, rosy blessings and Happy New Year to you both. So yeah, this is beautiful times to really activate and hold sacred space for ourselves, sacred center to ourselves. It's also the time when we have to take the food out of the fridge and cook it, if you know what I mean. It's like we've got tools in the tool bag. We've trained, we have done meditation practices, we have learnt healing techniques and modalities. But if we leave them in the fridge, we can starve. And it's time now to take these tools that we have in our tool bags out of the fridge and actually use them to create processes for ourselves that allow us to continually come back to center, continually remember to come back into sacred union with ourselves. This is where the inner marriage is first. It's within our own fields. Then we take that out, and we take it out in balance of our inner masculine, feminine energies. And that is when the magic happens. That is the magic portal that allows us to feel in the flow of life, in our truth. So, what might the roses have for us as an additional insight for this particular journey? And the other thing I meant to say, when we're talking about this Earth Star and Soul Star connection, in the next few weeks I will have an additional package that will be available for those that are working with the roses or have got the Rose Oracle, and that's the 4 cosmic roses that form the Soul Star, Earth Star, Gaia Gateway and Cosmic Gateway up through Stellar Gateway, that create the 2 vesicas of light that run over the body. So that will be coming available in the next few weeks, which I'm really excited about. So if you chose Rose Card 1, Rose Card 1, Rose Card 2, or Rose Card 3, what might speak to you? And of course we know that always these 3 roses weave together, and they offer us a slightly different picture. So I think Rachel chose 1. Okay, Vicky's 2. So Rose 1, and she is Rose Angel 10, and this rose sits in the base second chakra, and she says, I am the rose of self-love, self-value, self-esteem. So she's one of the primary roses which brings a jewel into the crown. So she is the jewel of ruby. When we fully acknowledge who we are, and we can hold ourselves with sacred honor, then we can harness that jewel of self-love, self-value, self-esteem. I have never yet seen a queen with a crown on that doesn't have it. So this is the rose that is calling you. If you chose Rose 1, she is saying to you, just make sure that you work from this place, that this is your foundation. And it's really interesting in this journey of Saturn into Capricorn. Now Saturn is this foundational piece. And I feel that this journey, particularly in January this year, which of course is mostly ruled by Capricorn, this is about getting your foundations in place. If you've got a program that you're wishing to put together, if you've got a new pathway of work, if you've got a new vision for this year that you want to anchor, you have got to have that base in place. It's like the base of Maslow's triangle. Having the absolute foundational piece in first before you take it on the vertical. So she says, is there anywhere where you need to be aware of any play out that still has issues around self-love, self-value and self-esteem? Because that's the place that you need to put a correction course, a correction course in place. And know that you come from self first, which is not selfish. We cannot give to others from an empty cup. We have to have a cup that is overflowing to be able to give that out. So here she is. She's Rose Angel 10. She's actually called the Queen of Sweden. She's a David Austin rose. And you can see from that petal that's out, she's like an invitation. You know, come within and fully blossom at this level of your being. If you chose Rose card 2, she is Rose Mar 7. Now this rose says, I am receptive. And she is the calling to get right balance between giving and receiving. Just so important, particularly for us as women. We are programmed to give. And this is the time, it's like the infinity symbol that goes out and comes back. We have to be prepared to receive, and we have to be open to receive. You know, it's like that saying, ask and it shall be given. So firstly, we need to know what it is we want or that we need, and then we have to be prepared to ask for those needs to be met or those desires to be met. And then we have to open to receive. That's the process. And for many of us, that is a huge learning, because often we will go, no, I'll do it myself. I'll deal with it myself. I'll find the answers myself. And this is a time when we have to open to the co-creative forces around us to help make things happen. So this is a really important learning. Yeah, there's Vicky is, I can't read it completely, but she's saying about I am receptive. So this is this place of, yeah, I open to receive. I have done good work to actually get to this place, and I open to the co-creative powers of the universe to co-create this for me. So the other piece to this that I got when I was tuning into this rose is that when we have that vision, when we are given the download, so we get the inspiration and we drop it down into the heart and we feel it in its energy of creation, we have to take those steps, the first steps in the physical, to allow for that energy to start to flow for us. So we take those steps in the physical. We don't need to know the nano details of how it's going to manifest. We open to receive. And this is her message. If you have the vision and you hold the place of vision holder, you have to be open to receive in order to make it happen. So here she is. She's Rose card 2 and she is Rose Mar 7. If you chose Rose card 3 today, she is Rose Bagua 8. Now, I don't know that this rose has ever come up for us before in a reading, and she's an unusual rose. She's a rose that called me on a visit to Kew Gardens in London. And you can see that, she's a deep dive within. So it's like she's wanting to open and expand, but there is this deep peace in her. So she's like she's got one wing out and is waiting for the other one to join to fly. And so this rose sits in the rose bagua, and she sits in the place of wisdom, contemplation and self-knowledge. And she calls us all the time to come back within, to know how we really feel about something, and to anchor that energy within us. So we're never coming from this wavering place. We're coming from a very clear, strong, self-referenced place within ourselves. And in the bagua is a set of 9 roses, or a set of 9 boxes. It's a feng shui term, and it's often used in black hat feng shui as an overlay on a physical house, so that you can see the areas in the house and where they are significant for different aspects of your journey. When I'm working with the rose bagua, I work in a slightly different way, and I work referencing across on the cross points of the bagua. And this rose sits in the place, as I say, of wisdom and knowledge, self-knowledge, and she is on the diagonal to relationships. So she goes through the central rose, which is the Tai Chi, the health center of the rose, and what she does is she brings us an extra richness in our relationships, a different understanding of our sense of self in relationship with another. And so that can influence our relationship with friends, it can influence our relationship with family and our sacred others. So powerful, powerful rose. She's asking you to, all of the time, come back in, so that you're coming from a centered place in your interaction in the world. So the 3 roses together really talk of this journey as we move through the energy that is bookended by these 2 full moons. So we start in on this full moon wave, we go into the new moon, and back out of January on the full moon. So this is a particular journey, and obviously when we have a second full moon in a month, it's called a blue moon. So it's called once in a blue moon. So we have a very contained, bookended journey this January, and it really calls us to have our this place. Hi Renee, hi Rebecca. This journey of the opportunity to go deeper and dive deeper within ourselves, to make sure that we've planted the seeds and that we are on sound foundations for this journey forward. So here we are. We have Rose Angel 10, so self-love, self-value, self-esteem. Here we have Rose Mars 7, being open to receive. Really important, open to receive the whispered messages from your heart, from your higher guides, from your inner tutor, your intuition, but being open to receive the help and the support that can allow your vision to manifest. We need to co-create. This is not a solo journey anymore. We are heading into this age of Aquarius, rapidly moving into the age of Aquarius. And the sacred sisterhood of the rose calls us to call in our sacred sister circles into that support process. And the third rose, Rose Bagua 8, who says, come in, self-reference, come in and know yourself, know where your triggers are, know where you've still got work to do, and acknowledge that, be truthful to that, don't put a facade on, drop the masks. This has to be a place in which there is full and absolute honour of ourselves and our journey, a truthful, transparent, honourable place of owning our journey. And it's, you know, it's when we come into that transparency, that's when people can, we are seen. There is a connection that is seen. So, 3 roses to carry us through to the new moon in the middle of our journey through January. And as I say, my sense, it's just a gut feeling, an intuition for me, is the fact that it will be March before we fully move into the energies that 218 has got to offer us. It feels that there's some shifting that's going to go on. I'm just going to put my glasses on so I can read some of your messages. Thank you. Thank you all for joining. Thank you, Marianne. Thank you, Elaine, Ashley, Renee, everybody that's on the call. Thank you so much. And this really proves to us, I think, that there, you know, it's like there is no magic pill. This is the place where the rubber hits the road, as I say. You know, it's where we bring the spiritual. This is where we bring our truth and our inner knowing into every day. We have to walk our talk. We have to embody what it is that we believe for our lives. And that's where the authenticity is, and that's where the truth of the journey is. And of course, from that, we download more and more of our unique energy, because we can bring more of our higher self actually into incarnation, more of the energies that run from the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th dimensional aspects of ourselves that we can't access without having made that connection with the 5th dimensional field. That's been our place where we've been, you know, digging through the ancestral stories and our conditioning to find the jewel, to find and polish the diamond of our hearts, so that we can have access through that portal, through the portal of the heart. Because when the heart opens, the crown opens to match, then we can bring more of our higher soul self into this incarnation here and be fully present to ourselves and to the loved ones we journey with. So, on that note, for those of you that have my newsletter, there will be extra information about, you know, the new courses and new offerings coming in for this year. But for now, Happy New Year to each and every one of you, and much love and rosy blessings on your journey. Bye for now. Bye.